Good morning, Tobago, and welcome this morning to GMT. Good morning, Tobago. We're really happy to be in your company. I'm your host today, Rhea Richardson-George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Viewers, quite an interesting time we've been having these last few days as we focus on Beneath the Surface, a very special series coming to you here through the Tobago Update television as we focus and we chat with assemblymen and secretaries and area representatives alike as we focus on some of their achievements and their goals as they look forward to the upcoming election. Our guest this morning, before we chat with our guests, we just have to remind you here that for those of you viewing us, you can view us on Amplia Channel 102, Digital Channel 33, Flow Channel 121 and 130, and online Facebook and YouTube. All right, so you can connect with us and feel free. Please send in your questions, your comments online. We're on Facebook this morning, so you can check us out on Facebook. Send in your questions, your comments for our guest today. Joining us this morning is Assemblyman Megan Morrison. She is the Assistant Secretary for Community Development, Youth Development and Sport, but she also has somewhat of a background. She'll share with us. She has crossed. This is her third division. She'll share with us, some of what she's learned along the way. But she's also the area representative for the Morrison George Goodwood area. All right, and so we're chatting with her this morning. Good morning and welcome to you, Assemblyman Morrison.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, Tobago.
It's good to have you with us.
Yes.
And this is straight talk, no chaser. Straight talk, no chaser. So it gives the public an opportunity to delve a little bit deeper into the background of who Megan Morrison is before she was Assemblyman. All right. Now let's start off by asking. Give us an idea this morning of the girl, the woman behind the portfolio before politics. Who was Megan Morrison before she became Assemblyman Megan Morrison?
Megan Morrison was a community girl involved in all the activities that the village had. I've always been a straightforward person, verbally wise, since a child. I get scolded a lot. I remember my grandmother saying to me, "Come tell me what you think about this," because you are playing calabash. That's what she used to say. So if she wanted an honest opinion, she would ask me. So I've always been involved. I was part of my younger adult years in the Signal Hill Alumni Choir. I was in school choir, drama, acted for Morrison George Youth Organization under Royal Titus, at the time preparing for Heritage and Best Village, and went into public life in terms of being a public servant on contract in the division of Sandy Hall at the time, then to the Division of Education, Youth and Sports. And subsequently, sports separated and I chose to go youth and sports.
Right.
That was my stint before politics.
All right. So you have some background, and that's very interesting. I love how you indicated there, what your grandmother said, because you're a plain talker. You're a what calabash?
Plain calabash.
A plain calabash. And for those out there who are trying to figure out or understand, what is a plain calabash? Break it down for them.
I try to be honest in my assessments, regardless of. I try not to have favoritism kind of thing, right? I try to be honest in my assessment of stuff, and that hasn't changed much. So you find if I can't say it as I truly see it, I would rather say nothing.
Okay. Now, you would have crossed divisions. You started off in tourism
and culture, yes.
Tourism, culture, antiquities and transportation. And then you were transferred, so to speak, to health, wellness,
and
social protection. And now you are currently at community. You're the assistant secretary for
Yes.
the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. What are some of the achievements that you would have accomplished
Over the time.
over the period of time? One maybe in each of those
Okay.
previous 2 divisions.
At the Culture Department, the Division of Tourism and Culture, I'm happy to say that I was part of the team that started the Tobago Carnival. I made that inaugural trip to Grenada with some members of the team, some professionals, some people from the orange economy and so on. And we promoted the island of Tobago. And as a result of that, there is a contingent that comes here every year subsequently for Carnival from Grenada. I don't know much people knows that. They were here up to a few weeks ago.
Right.
So we did a fairly good job in promoting the island. It was our first Carnival, and the result is clear. We have a contingent here every year from Grenada's Carnival, from Grenada to support our Carnival.
Right.
So that was culture. At the Division of Health and Wellness, I think it's my first couple of weeks there, my staff and I decided, because I realized there's a gap in the society where men is concerned. And we embarked on an initiative to go to the various communities to speak to the guys on the block, see what are their concerns. Because hardly you will find men coming to you, really. So we decided to go to them.
Right.
And we
If
decided...
Muhammad won't come to the mountain, you take the mountain.
That's
yes.
right. So we went out a couple of weeks and we went in more communities on the western side of the island, get to chat with these young men, get them to be part of the Blue Room, who eventually took prostate tests, who eventually wanted to do farming, and we assisted with some of that in pointing them in the right direction as a result of that initiative. Subsequently, and my most recent, at the same Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, my team and I embarked on the End Period Poverty Initiative, where we have sanitary napkins now at the division available to the persons that are in need. If someone is in need right now, they can go to the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection and get some assistance. The pads are physically there for you to take part in.
And this is open to whom?
Persons in need. General members of the public, members of staff, persons in need.
So should there be an accident on any given day?
It's available to you.
Okay.
We have a, what do we call it? A lounge, a room designated for that. It's also a breastfeeding room that was part of the THA's and Dr. Faith's initiative. So it's a shared space where you can go, get your pads and so on, and be able to refresh yourselves with a bathroom just next door.
Okay, very interesting. And how has the public responded to that? Do you see persons utilizing?
I left before it was actually launched, but I was invited back for the actual launch. So I don't know what is happening right now because it was so close to me. It was very dear to my heart, and it was close to when I left. Okay. So I don't know what is actually happening now.
At this point?
Yes.
All right. But currently, you function within the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sports. What falls under your purview at this point?
I will say youth development.
Okay. You would say?
Yes, I would say. I would say youth development.
I'm sorry here. Is it you're saying here that you would say, is it not a clear defined line in terms of what
it is.
Your responsibilities are?
I don't think it's clearly defined, but I would say youth development. Okay. And because I'm saying youth development, there are several initiatives under youth development and the youth department that Couple we have met, which is, well, the YES program ongoing for several
Right.
years.
Yes. And this was under previous administration, yes? Yes.
World of Work under previous administration, it continues, which, is, of course, preparing the young people for the world of work.
And I'm curious here, what made, because, sometimes within politics and governance, it's out with the old, in with the new. What made this administration stick with these two? Let's just focus on these two, but stick with these two particular programs.
Well, it worked, right?
Right.
I remember before politics, I was part of youth and sports. And I remember these are programs that are always oversubscribed. Because the fact of the matter is, some children do not get the exposure from their home environment.
Right.
And programs like these prepare them for society, and resume writing, all these type of stuff comes out of programs like these. So it worked. So it's not about you, the administration. It's about what's best for the public. And if we have initiatives that works, why not?
Hold on to it. There's always a perception of the baby and the bathwater syndrome. So you just throw everything out,
and I don't believe in that.
Not hold on to what works and what is, in the best interest of the people.
Yes. Also, there is a trade trek program that started last year. I think we are on the second.
Trade trek.
Yes, so the name always kind of indicates what the program is about. So trade. We have some young people in communities because, we have youth officers and who are stationed in various communities.
Yes.
They would identify this person could do with some help. They may not have finished school, but they don't want to give up. They still want to be able to do something. And apart from that, we have a society right now that it's hard to find tradesmen, good tradesmen, right? So if you can get some people to want to do that, train them, have them qualified, and fill a gap in the meantime, they get a stipend as well. So, they have the tendency to not want to do other stuff if they have a stipend coming in and they are busy. Right? So that trade trek, it's on its second year, and it's very impactful, reaching the young men mainly in the communities who are displaced. I don't want to say displaced, but may not have had another option or, that kind of stuff. So we are trying to fill that gap.
Okay.
And there's also something that is happening for the first time. We call it Beauty Inside Out.
Beauty Inside Out.
That deals with some young people again who want to work on hygiene, healthy eating, beauty, how you put together yourself on the outside, a little makeup. If not, how do you, manage the hair and that kind of stuff in preparation.
Grooming.
For the world of work, for adulthood, for being among your peers. So that is a short course, but training in etiquette, all of that is part of it.
And this is happening.
Literacy. And financial literacy.
How key is that?
Because we just earn this little money and it gone because we're frivolous or for whatever reason. So
and we've never been taught how to spend it,
haven't.
What to focus on.
Yes, what are important, what we have to leave back, probably indulge once in a period versus every week. So financial literacy as well is part of that.
And this is through the division, yes?
That's right, your department.
What about plans to take this through the schools? Because I think these things need to be taught at primary and secondary levels.
I totally agree with you. It's a conversation to have with the Secretary of Finance to see how this can spread. But it's needed.
All right, but we're going to take a very quick break here. Viewers, remember, it is Beneath the Surface. Straight talk, no chaser. Join us just after this.
It's a brand new morning, to wake up and hear my neighbor.
Viewers, welcome back to Beneath the Surface here on GMT. Our guest this morning, Assemblyman Megan Morrison. And this is Straight Talk, no chaser. Assemblyman Morrison is also the area representative for the Mount St. George Goodwood area. And we want to get an idea of her where her mind is with regards throwing her hat into the electoral ring once again, vying, in fact, as a nominee among five other persons for the vying for the position of area representative. What does that suggest to you, Assemblyman Morrison, when five other persons from within your community say, look, I am throwing my hat into the ring as well. I think I can do this. What does it suggest to you?
Representation for most persons is not easy. But I've made it my business to try to represent well. As a result, I've had several activities within my district. And I don't know if as a result of that, representation looks a bit easy. Or let me just say, maybe they are unhappy about something they probably didn't get and decide probably they may able to do a better job, but the competition is welcomed.
You are not backing down. You're not afraid. What do you believe? Do you believe you have an edge on them? What?
I do believe I have an edge. I'm not backing down because while I may not have achieved a lot of what I wanted to see happen in the district, for example, I know most of my competitors are from Goodwood, if not all. And one of the pet peeves they had or have is the completion of that pavilion. Right?
Is it valid? I mean,
no, it is a concern. It is a valid concern. Granted that the challenges we had with the pavilion wasn't all THA. Initially, it was a EIDCOT project that was left abandoned by UDCOT. So the transferal of that to the THA took some time. And apart from that, we had financial challenges. So now the situation has been rectified. I think the mobilization has been paid to the contractor, and you will see the restarting of that pavilion momentarily, if it has not started as yet. Right? So that may be one of the concerns, the field, the court, all of which will start soon. I must say budgetary allocation has been one of our greatest challenges over this term. So I am happy for the little increase that we got in this new budget. So you will see something more happening, right? But in terms of the pavilion for Goodwood, the real challenge there was that UDCOT abandonment of the project. So that is what caused the initial delay in the completion of that particular project. But for Goodwood again, and funny enough, most of the stuff accomplished in my electoral district was done in Goodwood. There was this wall by the Smith's resident that has been languishing for almost 10 years. It was completed as a result of a resident coming to me. I make my overtures to the division, and it was completed. That Grandy Gully project was left abandoned as well. And I am happy to say the resurfacing of that project starts today. So the wall was done, the bridge was done, the gabion basket and so on. And they will actually have, by next Friday, maybe a completely paved Grandy Gully. And that is in Goodwood. Right? Okay. We have had that Miss Mills area resurfaced and so on as a result of representation from Megan C. Morrison. Right? So, again, I don't know if that is why people choose to throw their hat in the ring, but I think I have been a very good representative coming from what we was passing for representation prior to me. I am an assistant secretary who has to depend on the various divisions for execution.
So you do not
Previously,
work independently?
no. What I did independent means what I did of my own accord,
Right.
like my book drive, my annual book drive that started even before I became an area representative.
Right.
I have my annual there's an initiative I do, eye testing and so on for back to school.
Right.
I also have an annual
And this is coming
market
from
day
you personally.
from me.
This is not
me and
with your
where I beg.
Right.
Where I beg and I write and ask for help and so on. So not from the assembly.
Yes.
Right? So these are initiative I undertook as a result of being area representative, because there's an actual need in our communities to better the lives. That's my aim, to better the lives of the people you represent. So sometimes I'm jokingly referred to the area rep that is the go-to, the problem solver, the one who could make it happen. That is how I'm referred to from even people that are not from my district.
Okay.
Right? So you find my book drive is massive.
So persons
Massive.
come, it's not localized to your...
It is localized to my district, but that never happens.
So persons from outside
Yes,
still...
that
okay.
never happens. Right? So in my first couple of years, I had sewing classes. Currently, at my district office, there is a Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday maths class for people preparing for C exam.
Okay.
Right? So I am of the opinion that when you build people, the rest will follow.
Okay.
Right? So another thing I didn't mention is Monk St. George don't feel left out. That's where I live. One of the things we have been clamoring for is that widening of the number one village street. Some people say it cannot happen.
Can it happen? My question is,
Happen.
can...
Some
say
say
it
make
cannot.
it one way.
But
that
can it
would
happen?
never happen. It will start soon. As in this fiscal, as in this quarter, it will start.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Are you satisfied with the pace at which things happen within the community, within the division?
I am not.
This is Tobago. Go ahead.
I am not. And that may be because of the person that I am. I am get it done type of person. I don't like mediocre. Right? So when I am doing anything, or when I expect anything else to be done, I expect a certain standard, a certain pace. I'm unbearable to my staff at times. They know that. Because, no, this has to be done differently and better. Right? So they are the first point of contacts, I would say them. Right? But while I do understand it's not just about not being able to get it done, finance is and remain our biggest challenge when this island has been neglected for so long. Because I come from a district that had a finance secretary as the area representative and deputy chief secretary. Think about that for a moment, right? Finance secretary and deputy chief secretary.
What are you suggesting?
And my district was sorely neglected. I'm not suggesting it, I'm saying it.
Okay.
My district was sorely neglected. John Dial playing field may be cut twice a year under the previous incarnation. Under now it's a maintained field, right?
Yes.
Think about that for a moment. We have our annual not annual. Ever so often we create our hamper drive. The loaves of love for me never stopped. Every time I go out, we have the loaves of love available to distribute, even if it's just a walk. That never stopped. We had our soup kitchen in Goodwood. We had it in John Dial as well. We had meals distribution at the district office. My market, they started at the district office compound, but we realized the space was outgrown. We now have it at Bleming, where opposite where the Prime Minister's residence is, that big prepared space. That was done in collaboration with the Division of Infrastructure. We begged to help us, fix the area because there was a dumping ground. It's no longer so. People can pull over now and take in sea breeze and so on.
And relax, refresh and relax.
Right? So that didn't come just like that. That come from an area representative who is cajoling and not giving up and very stick-to-itiveness. I know when I'm in executive council, sometimes they probably fed up hear me because that's how I am. I can be nagging at times, to want to have a better word. This needs to be done. And I wouldn't stop doing that.
What do you now understand about politics now that you are in politics that you did not know before? How have your eyes been opened after coming into office?
Well, I've always liked politics, so I used to go to the meetings and stuff with my grandparents and stuff. But in terms of governance, I realized that you can't make promises. Not that I did, but you can't make promises. Because when you get there, we have $1 billion in debt that contractors need their funding while you want to do something new. How do you strike a balance? Right? So unless you get there and see what is available to you financially, I think that is the biggest lesson for me. And I don't know. I think that's the biggest lesson, yes. And I didn't mention food security. Thank you, Ms. Pantin. I had a refurbishment of my the fishing facility at Studley Park that was built years and unused because the fishermen found it unusable. So it was repurposed and rebuilt and recommissioned by the Division of Food Security under my tenure.
Okay. All right. I want to share, before we go to a quick break here, I want to share with you some of what's happening on the live. So Kadisha Stevens says, Megan Morrison, you're doing a great job, a great work. Keep it up. Shut down the noise and keep up the great work. Okay. We see here Faith Brebner. I've always said that Megan Morrison is one of the better area representatives in the team. Thank you for your service. All right. So that's what's coming on the live. And some persons, Petula Anola, Jack loves your colors, Megan. She loves your colors this morning.
Thank you.
All right, so that's what's coming in. And we want to invite you to share your questions and comments with us on the live. So as we continue chatting this morning with Assemblyman Megan Morrison, you indicated earlier that maybe you have made the job look, as the area representative, you made the job look easy, or that persons may not be satisfied with your performance. How were you able to critique yourself? Because I mean, even you saying it, I mean, may say to the viewers that, well, maybe she's thinking it, but she's thinking it because she said it.
I said what?
But it's not an easy place it's not easy for one to critique oneself. To look into the background of, maybe your failures.
I like to keep it real, right? And if I'm depending on someone or an entity for delivery, in my mind, I still didn't accomplish a goal I set out, right? So as a result of that, I would think, because I try to be on the other side looking in to see what people may be seeing or thinking, right? There are some things I said to my team that if they're going and protest, I'm going to protest with them, right? Because I feel the way they feel, right? So I am not going to sit here and say I was perfect. I strive for perfection, but I'm not, right? And there were some things I would have liked to see done faster, better, and it simply wasn't done. But I also want to point out, I remember getting a letter from the Morrison-George Police Youth Club asking if they can paint the pavilion at Morrison-George. I couldn't respond to it because I say it's government place, you know, you have to get some type of permission. I just didn't know how to respond. Granted that it wanted paint and more. And when I heard the Prime Minister announce, because we got a visit from the Minister of Sports over 2 periods, and Morrison-George Pavilion is one earmarked for refurbishment. So that made me feel good to see that we have a better communication or collaboration with central government. That has never happened before, at least not in my 4 years, and not to what I've seen prior to me coming into office, you know. So I was happy for that. So I hope the Morrison-George community would soon benefit from a refurbished pavilion as opposed to paint, because it definitely needs more than that.
Okay.
Right?
We're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we want to talk about some of the quote-unquote failures, those areas that you're not satisfied with, not happy with. And as well, we want to take a look at some of your goals for the future. All right, so you'll share with us when we come back just after the break. Viewers, it is Beneath the Surface, straight talk, no chaser. Join us after the break. Viewers, welcome back to Beneath the Surface, straight talk, no chaser. We're still chatting this morning with Assemblyman Megan Morrison. And, you know, before we took the break, the question, we want to talk a little bit about some of the failures, or, we can term it failures. What are some of those areas, Assemblyman, that you're not satisfied with? And you believe if given the opportunity to do better, you will. What areas?
The challenges I would like to see improve, or the areas that I would like to see improve, is delivery, right? Not just from a personal standpoint, holistically. I would like to see the completion of the number 1 village street. I would like to see the Hope Field completed. Is the only thing Hope asks for, and here it has been posing to be a challenge. Hope Field. There's also that bridge in Hope that connected the Belmont Road that fell off some years ago. I would like to see that the reinsurgence of that thoroughfare, right? Brothers Field in Green Hill is where some farmers are. That access need to be fixed. They have been clamoring for it for some time, and I would like to see Brothersfield fix, right? Goodwood, I would like to see the pavilion, the field, and the court completed in Goodwood, right? Morrison-George Village Council, I thank you because you have collaborated with me on so many occasions. For my car meet and fun day, the Morrison-George Village Council always plays a part. I remember we walked against crime and violence. That's an initiative we did collaboratively with the Morrison-George Village Council. Big up to my president, Omari Douglas, right? Young man, great potential, right? We, as a matter of fact, when I have my Christmas parties and so on for the children, massive, I cater for almost 500 children. He's always there volunteering with his team. So thank you again, Morrison-George Village Council, for the support. So I would like to see these initiatives in my community come to a fruition. It will reduce the level of crime in the district.
And I'm glad, just pause for a course here. I'm glad that you mentioned that because Morrison George has been known to be one of those major hotspots throughout Tobago. What do you say to that? What are some of the initiatives undertaken to curb?
I'm happy to say I don't think Morrison George is a hotspot anymore. I am also happy to report under my tenure, my district has benefited from more than 100 persons being employed. So I suspect that may have contributed to the reduction in some of the nefarious activities that may have plagued my district.
So they have jobs.
A lot have jobs. There are a lot more that need jobs because every day you get the request.
Right.
Granted that most is not just a job, it's early morning work. I don't know if that is because they want to do something else in the evening or I believe it's that they want to do something else after they finish early. But there is only a limited amount you can employ. You know, some of my youngsters have gone into farming, and farming is a passion of mine, an absolute passion. I must invite Tobago updates to my garden one of these days.
You have a garden?
Spend the morning with me. Yes, I do. Farming is one of my passions.
Okay.
Right now, I have okras, flavor peppers, pumpkin, tomatoes.
So you grow what you eat.
Yes, I try to grow what I eat.
You listen to Assemblyman and teacher transplanted, yes.
And then you know what you're eating, right? I have lettuce, pak choy, all that. So I must invite Tobago updates to my garden one of these days. But I'm happy when young people go into farming. I have hope that when I get a little older, that I would be fed from local food that is grown on the island, right?
Okay.
So I believe with those simple initiatives, that I don't consider Morrison George to be a hotspot anymore, to be quite honest.
Okay.
Right? So.
Question, how would you rate yourself? One, this is Assemblyman Morrison, Assistant Secretary within the division, as well as Megan Morrison, Area Representative, Assemblyman Megan Morrison, Area Representative. What grade would you give yourself as the Assistant Secretary, and what grade would you give yourself as the Area Representative on a scale of A to F?
A to F.
A being the highest.
Not 1 to 10. Okay. I would give myself as Area Representative a B. Okay. As Assistant Secretary, maybe a C in this present division. I've not gotten my feet wet as yet. I'm not sure what my boundaries are, what my lines of
You feel there's
assignment.
more that you can do?
Of course.
What is it?
I think I'm underutilized. I have a multifaceted amount of talent and ability. I don't believe I've been able to fulfill my full potential in a division. So I would give myself a 7 in division. Because
out of what 1 to 10?
Yeah.
So you are literally crying, please work me, use me.
Of course.
And you don't feel that that's what's happening
I
at
think
this
my
point?
talent is wasted, if I'm being honest.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting that this is coming up now. You feel that your talent is wasted. What is your background? For those persons who do not know, what is your background?
Construction. Hey, who knows? I may be the next Secretary for Works. Construction, culture, tourism. Because I have a master's in marketing. I studied hospitality as well. But my main passion is in community development. I believe in building the community a person at a time. And I believe that can be accomplished if well placed at community development. Right? I truly believe that. I have a passion for people and for youths. Right? Granted, I believe community development, youth and sport as it is now is a very large division. And personally, I believe it should be separated so that focus can be placed, sports and youth, ComDev. right? Because under COMBEV, you have the YES program, you have the CPEP, you have all of that currently. And I believe with the one cadre of projects and PIU and that one set of staff to do that massive division, something get neglected, right? So that's how I feel about that. But I think I'm underutilized, and who knows?
If given an opportunity, and you did mention, maybe you could be the next, but if given an opportunity, the chief says to you one day, Assemblyman Morrison, you have a chance, you have an opportunity to select, where you would want to function. What division would it be?
It would definitely be community development.
Right where you are?
Yes. It would definitely be ComDev, because I believe almost anything can be accomplished under community development. You get to build people, you get to build initiatives and ideas that will develop people, right? And I believe that almost any division can be subsumed in the name of developing the community, if you know what I mean. So as a result of that, I would say community development is where people get the most benefits, and I think that is where my passion lies.
As an assemblyman, are you satisfied? I know there was public outcry over the years with the relationship between central government and the Tobago House of Assembly. As it stands now, because we saw the Prime Minister coming to Tobago and the assemblymen, from what we're hearing and what we're seeing, are you now satisfied with the relationship between new central government and the THA?
I am living in hope. Although hope is part of my district, I am living in hope. I am actually, I don't want to say satisfied yet, but I am saying I'm living in hope.
Based on what you have seen
but
thus
what
far.
I've seen, I'm very hopeful, and I'm happy. I'm more happy that it looks like we are heading somewhere. It looks like, well, if the increase in the budgetary allocation is any indication of what central government have in store for us, it's not what we want or what we deserve, but it's a good start, right? That means some of my projects in my district, so I'm being selfish here, can finally get completed as a result, right? I am happy that the Prime Minister see us as allies, this assembly, this government, Tobago government. Excuse. So I am happy. I don't want to use the word satisfied. I am happy so far, because I would be the first one to come out and say if I am unhappy about something happening with the central government. But as it is now, I am hopeful. I am happy to some extent that it looks like we are heading in the right direction.
Okay. If you were to be given the opportunity to be chief secretary for one day, what immediate and had the opportunity to make changes within that one day, you had the power to do in one day, what changes would you make?
What the change I would want to see made, I'm not sure it's under the purview of the chief secretary right now, but that would be regularization of land tenure.
Why is that passionate to you? Or for
land tenure means you can go to the loan bank, you can get a loan, you can get a mortgage. You now can cultivate a land, you know how have generational wealth that you can pass on to your next generation, because the generation needs a start. Right? Most of us have started from scratch, not me, really, because my grandfather bought lands at a cheaper price and I saw the value in that. But generally, right now, a young person cannot purchase land and build a house.
No, I saw some
right
prices.
Now.
I saw some
it's
figures,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Right? So, if the chief secretary had the power for land tenure, and that is the change I would want to see made.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what would you want to say to Tobago's young people, the Tobago community? You threw your hat into the ring, vying for the opportunity to serve another term. What if you are not successful, should you not be successful, what is in place for you after?
If I'm not successfully nominated as the candidate for Morrison George Goodwood, Tobago is my home. I still have work to do here. I have a massive garden that I would like to continue see flourishing. Probably, but really and truly, my service and work is in Tobago.
Okay.
I will still be here helping in the background if needs be. I'm here to serve. So whether I'm the candidate or not, Tobago has me.
Okay.
And that's it.
And should you be successful, what are some of the goals? What would you like to see happen within your community and Tobago at large?
I would like to see a developed Scarborough, right? I would like to see a community where basic needs are met, where young people don't always look to the THA for employment. I would want to see opportunities open that they either want to flourish in the private sector, and as well as the projects that are dear to them, which are the pavilions and the fields and so on, completed and uplit and available to the communities to be a part of. Healthy society, they get to exercise, they get to sweat, they get to create teams, football teams, who knows. From my district might have a national champion, a worldwide champion, but we need the fields and the courts and so on up and running and available to the young people. Let me get them a start now. That's how I feel.
Question here. These are some of the promises that were made on the the campaign trail. So what is happening 4 years down the road? What is happening?
Well, as I said, as assistant secretary in any division, you depend on the whole, the team, right? And I know it's not because totally that we haven't done what we are supposed to do. The truth is so much to be done with so little resources, right? And that has been and continue to be our major challenge for delivery.
Is there a good cohesion between yourself and the secretary?
Oh, yes. I don't think I'm at war with anyone, but the secretary is the secretary.
Yes.
At the end of the day, an assistant secretary cannot sign. I could make any amount of recommendations. If the secretary don't find favor or would rather see something else happen, that is the direction it will go. Any secretary. So, and that is our reality.
And you continue to work together to better,
of course,
the people of Tobago. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Assemblyman Megan Morrison, Beneath the Surface. So certainly, folks, we are looking forward to chatting with all of the Assemblymen as we lead up to the upcoming election, THA elections, as we delve into the background, what makes them tick, what makes them move, what makes them happy, what makes them not so happy, all right, and some of their proud moments and their goals as they look forward to a brighter future. We want to thank you for joining us today. We've got much more coming up tomorrow on Beneath the Surface, Straight Talk, No Chaser. So join us tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, right here on the Tobago Updates television. Have a great day, Tobago. We'll see you. Bye-bye.